You will not believe what just went down with Diddy this week. While Diddy is locked up, Trump just handed out pardons to 5 NFL players. We're talking about guys who were reportedly tied to major criminal cases and serious charges, but when Diddy personally reached out asking for that same mercy, Trump shut it down fast. He said no, flat out, and that is not even the wildest twist of the week. It gets crazier. There are now reports that Diddy's 84-year-old mother could be pulled into legal trouble too. Yes, his own mother might be dragged into this storm. On top of that, a disturbing lawsuit packed with graphic allegations just got the green light to move forward to trial. The pressure is building, and it is not slowing down. In this video, we are breaking down why Diddy and his mother could be facing serious heat over an alleged shady $100,000 cash situation. We are also diving into the lawsuit that reportedly mentions Biggie's son and unpacking why Trump rejected Diddy's pardon request while approving others in high-profile cases. The timing alone has people talking. But before we get into all that, we have to start with what is happening right now because this Trump twist is next level. All right, here's the real backstory. In January 2026, Diddy personally wrote Trump a letter from prison asking for a pardon. Not just asking, begging. Trump didn't dance around it either. He publicly said no and made it clear he would not even consider it. According to TMZ, Diddy had been telling other inmates at Fort Dix that Trump was going to free him. He was confident, almost celebrating early. That confidence hits different now. Fast forward to February 13th, 2026. Trump signs off on pardons for 5 former NFL players. Let's break it down. Joe Klecko was pardoned after lying to a federal grand jury in an insurance fraud case. Nate Newton was caught with $10,000 in cash and 175 pounds of marijuana in his truck. Jamal Lewis admitted to using his phone to help set up drug deals. Travis Henry was tied to financing a cocaine operation between Colorado and Montana. Billy Cannon, who has since passed away, had been convicted of counterfeiting millions in U.S. currency. And yes, he was still pardoned. Trump reportedly said football represents grit, grace, and the courage to rise again. Meanwhile, Diddy is still behind bars, watching all this play out on TV. That has to sting. The contrast between the cases has people talking loud. So let that sink in. They got pardoned, and Diddy did not. That pretty much slams the door on any presidential pardon hope for him. That option looks dead.
To Donald Trump's refusal to pardon Sean Puffy Combs or to commute the sentence of Sean Puffy Combs, because he don't have to pardon him, Art. He could just commute the sentence and say he served enough time, let him go home. You know, he's not doing that either. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's not necessarily due to the fact that he got an issue with Diddy. I think the reason Donald Trump did not commute Diddy's sentence, Art, is for this reason. Donald Trump is a crash dummy for the Zionists. Israel is the capital of the United States of America. I told you that I believe, allegedly, that Donald Trump is doing everything the Zionists tell him to do, from capturing Maduro to doing everything else, in exchange for his participation or his knowledge of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal to not be publicly put out there. Trump is in those papers, Art, but they're protecting him as long as he does what they tell him to do. If Donald Trump tries to buck the Zionists, I promise you, he gets impeached, he gets convicted, he gets disgraced, and he'll go to jail for probably the rest of his natural.
Now, his only real shot is the appeal set for April 9th, and we'll circle back to that. But first, we need to talk about something way deeper, because this next part is serious. On February 10th, 2026, Page 6 dropped a bombshell. Reports say that before his arrest, Diddy was already making moves behind the scenes. Back in May 2023, he booked a club appearance at M2 nightclub in Miami during Formula One race week. On the surface, it sounds like a regular celebrity booking, but here's where it gets questionable. Allegedly, he requested $100,000 in cash for the appearance. Not wired, not a check. Cash! It was reportedly split into 2 payments and directed to a company called Janice Combs Music Holdings Incorporated, a company named after his 84-year-old mother. And this was all written into the contract days before the event. That does not sound random. That sounds planned. Why does that matter? Because this happened just months before federal raids hit his properties and civil lawsuits started stacking up. Critics are saying he may have been trying to protect assets and move money strategically, possibly placing it under his mother's company.
That Diddy makes all the women wear white nail polish during the freak-offs. Not to mention, she said that the freak-offs will last so long they will be on IVs after. Now, a video resurfaced with Diddy and his mother. She was wearing white nail polish and was on an IV with Diddy. Diddy also implied that she loves going to the strip clubs with him. He makes her go everywhere with him. They were kissing on the lips. He was saying, oh, she can touch the ground with her palms. She lit, she's fun, she's single. All this crazy stuff about his mom. Mind you, she's never been married before. She never had a public boyfriend. People are really speculating that she participates in the freak-offs as well. There's been allegations that she participates and that she also watches the freak-offs. Y'all, do y'all think she could possibly catch charges or she's gonna end up being on the stand as well? I don't know. This is gonna get wild.
That raises big questions. Now people are watching closely, and the spotlight is not just on Diddy anymore. I'm dead serious. Go watch that clip and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But now we've got to break down the legal side because this part is no joke at all. When large payments are made in cash, it can raise red flags. Big amounts for services like club appearances are typically supposed to be properly reported for tax purposes. If someone chooses cash over traceable payments, investigators may start asking why. That is where things get complicated fast. Now here's the key issue. If Janice allegedly picked up or handled that $100,000 herself, that could place her directly in the financial chain. And if that money was not properly reported as income, that can lead to serious tax problems. Authorities look very closely at situations like that. Age does not automatically remove responsibility if someone knowingly takes part in financial decisions. If prosecutors believe there was intent to keep funds off official records, they can pursue charges like aiding and abetting tax violations. That is heavy. Another twist, the club owner speaking publicly might not be random. Sometimes when business owners come forward, it signals cooperation. Whistleblowers can receive certain legal protections if they report questionable financial activity. That changes the whole chessboard. And here's the bigger concern. If this was done once, critics are wondering whether it was part of a larger pattern. Multiple cash deals could create what some legal experts call a shadow economy. Money moving without clear documentation, no paper trail, no easy tracking, and that can explode in court. Now you might be thinking, why would someone as wealthy as Diddy risk it all over $100,000? That sounds small compared to his old lifestyle, right? But here's the twist. Reports say his financial picture is not what it used to be. His business empire has taken serious hits. He lost his major partnership with Diageo tied to Ciroc, and that deal was once valued at massive numbers. He also stepped away from Revolt, and there have been reports of assets being sold off, including luxury property and even his private jet. His Los Angeles mansion reportedly struggled to attract buyers after federal agents searched the property. That kind of attention changes everything. A lot of his remaining wealth is believed to be tied up in real estate and art. Those are valuable, but they are not quick cash. And when someone is facing multiple civil lawsuits and a long legal battle, liquid money becomes king. Cash in hand moves faster than property stuck on the market. Here's where it gets strategic. If a payment like $100,000 goes through a standard wire into a business account, that creates a clear paper trail. During legal discovery, attorneys can request those records. But physical cash, that is harder to trace if it is not properly documented. That difference matters in court. Some legal analysts often say financial cases fall apart because of patterns, not just one event. Small transactions can add up under scrutiny. Tax investigations, when they happen, tend to focus on documentation and intent. It is usually the money trail that creates the biggest problems, not just headlines. The timing of this story surfacing has definitely raised eyebrows. When financial questions start circulating publicly, it often signals that more eyes are watching. They are building something behind the scenes, just watch. And now, we need to get into the next update. Fair warning, this one involves very serious allegations. On February 12, 2026, a Los Angeles Superior Court judge ruled that a lawsuit filed by music producer Jonathan Hayes can move forward to trial. Hayes claims that during a 2020 studio session, he was drugged and later assaulted. He alleges he was given ketamine without his knowledge, restrained, and subjected to non-consensual sexual acts. These are allegations at this stage, but the court has decided there is enough to let the case proceed. That alone is major. Hayes also claims something deeply disturbing. He says a t-shirt connected to the notorious B.I.G. was involved during the alleged incident, and that after it was over, Diddy allegedly said, "Rest in peace, Big," before tossing the shirt at him. That claim has shocked a lot of people. The lawsuit further names Christopher C.J. Wallace, Biggie's son, accusing him of helping set up the meeting. The court ordered Wallace to formally respond to the complaint by February 13th. The charges moving forward include sexual battery, false imprisonment, and emotional distress. One count tied to negligent supervision was dismissed. but the core allegations remain active and are headed toward trial. Hayes told the New York Post that this ruling marks a major moment in what he described as a very dark chapter of his life. Meanwhile, even though Diddy is already serving time on federal convictions, these civil cases are separate and could carry massive financial consequences. This situation is far from over. This is just one of several civil lawsuits still hanging over Diddy's head. The legal bills are stacking up, the pressure is rising, and every new case adds another layer of stress. Even with him already behind bars, the courtroom drama is far from finished. Now let's get into the one move that could actually shift the board, his appeal. On February 6, 2026, U.S. Circuit Court Judge Beth Robinson approved Diddy's request for a fast-track appeal. That is big. Oral arguments are officially set for April 9, 2026, and that date could change everything. Here's the timeline. On December 23, 2025, his legal team filed their opening brief. On February 20, 2026, the government is due to file its opposition. Then on March 13, 2026, Diddy's team will submit their reply. After that, April 9th becomes the major showdown in court. His attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, is calling the 50-month sentence draconian, basically saying it is way too harsh. She argues the Mann Act, a law dating back to 1910, was misapplied in his case. According to her, the relationships involved were consensual. Her strongest claim? She says he was sentenced based partly on allegations he was acquitted of, including trafficking and racketeering counts where he was found not guilty. That argument could carry weight. Right now, Diddy remains at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey, waiting on that appeal clock to run down. April 9th is shaping up to be a serious moment. Right now, Diddy's projected release date is May 8th, 2028. That is the official timeline. But here's the twist. If his appeal wins, that date could move up fast. In a best-case scenario for him, the conviction could even be overturned. This appeal is not just important, it is everything. A presidential pardon is off the table. The civil lawsuits are still marching forward no matter what. So April 9th is shaping up to be a make-or-break moment. Here's what happens next. Federal prosecutors have until February 20th, 2026 to file their opposition brief. That deadline is right around the corner. In that filing, the government will lay out its full argument for why the conviction should stand and why the 50-month sentence was justified. They are expected to argue that the Mann Act was properly applied and that the sentence fits the conduct presented in court. Prosecutors may also push back on the defense claim that the judge relied too heavily on allegations tied to charges where he was acquitted. They will likely argue that the sentencing process followed federal guidelines and considered legally permissible factors. That part is crucial. Why does this matter? Because so far, the public has mainly heard Diddy's side through his attorney. This upcoming brief will show how aggressively the government plans to defend the conviction. It will preview the tone and strategy heading into April 9th. When that opposition drops, we will really see how intense this legal battle is about to get. Appeals are serious business, and the courts do not play around with them. Now let's spin back to the Trump twist because this part keeps getting more dramatic. On January 9th, 2026, Trump told the New York Times that he received a personal letter from Diddy asking for a pardon. Trump made it clear he was not considering it. He even joked with reporters saying, "Would you like to see that letter?" But he never actually showed it. He also said their relationship fell apart once he got into politics, claiming Diddy had said negative things about him publicly. After that, it was basically curtains. No pardon. Then February 13th hit. Trump signed off on pardons for 5 former NFL players. Joe Klecko for perjury tied to a federal case, Nate Newton in connection with a major drug conviction, Jamal Lewis for his role in setting up drug transactions, Travis Henry for financing a cocaine operation, and Billy Cannon for counterfeiting U.S. currency. That list raised eyebrows fast. Trump's team reportedly framed the pardons around themes like grit, grace, and the courage to rise again. Meanwhile, Diddy remains convicted under the Mann Act and is serving his sentence. The contrast has sparked loud reactions online. Picture the scene. Diddy sitting at FCI Fort Dix, watching the news roll in, seeing athletes get second chances while his own request was denied. Whether fair or not, that kind of headline has to hit hard. The optics alone are wild. The door on a pardon looks shut. April 9th is the only real shot left for Diddy now. Let's talk money because this part is wild. Reports say he sold his private jet, a custom matte black Gulfstream G550, in February 2026. The estimated sale price floated somewhere between $15 million and $30 million. That is not pocket change. That is liquidation mode. His Holmby Hills mansion in Los Angeles was listed back in September 2024, but then it was pulled from the market on December 24th after struggling to sell. Once a property becomes connected to federal raids, buyers can get nervous. That kind of spotlight changes the vibe fast. So why unload major assets? Legal fees, multiple civil lawsuits, ongoing defense costs, appeals are not cheap. On top of that, he lost his partnership tied to Ciroc under Diageo, a deal once valued at massive numbers. His Sean John brand was sold years ago. Before his arrest, his net worth was widely reported around the billion-dollar mark. Now analysts believe it has dropped significantly. Some sources are even claiming his liquidity is tight after conviction. Whether that is fully accurate or not, the cash burn in high-profile legal battles is real. Lawyers, filings, settlements, it adds up quickly. Now here is the next key date, February 20th, 2026. That is when federal prosecutors file their opposition brief. That document will reveal how aggressively they plan to defend the conviction and sentence. If you want to know how intense this fight is about to get, that filing will tell the story. Mark these dates because this is where it gets real. March 13th, 2026, Diddy's team files their official reply to whatever the government argues. Then April 9th, 2026, the main event, oral arguments. This is the day the judges really dig in and question both sides. This is pressure time. Here's what everybody is asking right now. Will there actually be a tax case involving Diddy and his mother, or is that talk getting ahead of the facts? How strong is the government's opposition brief going to be? Does Diddy truly have a real shot at winning this appeal? And are there more financial moves we have not even seen yet? The next few weeks are about to be intense. The government's filing will show exactly how hard they plan to push back. And April 9th, that date could decide whether he stays locked up until 2028 or gets a major break. That is not small stakes. Now I need to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think happens on April 9th? Does Diddy flip this appeal, or is this the final chapter? And why do you think Trump pardoned those NFL players but denied him? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. This saga is still unfolding, and Flow Alert is covering every twist. I'll see you in the next one.